Hey, this is John Bohlinger with Premier Guitar. Today, we're taking a first look at the brand new Martin OM28 Modern Deluxe. I think we're kind of living in the golden age of guitars. Now, many of you might not agree, but this is what's so great about right now. We have these companies that have been around for a long time that have been making, like the gold standard of guitars, and they're using the same kind of secret sauce that they had in the past, but there are modern upgrades that I think really improve it. And this is what Martin is currently doing. And there's been some other companies that we've kind of dealt with that are doing similar things, just taking classic designs and upgrading them. And for example, okay, this is on this guitar, the OM's been in their line for a while, but they've done things like they've put in a titanium truss rod. Now, the old guitars, the old Martins didn't even have a truss rod. For instance, this is my old 1946 D18 no truss rod. However, great guitar. They've also put in a liquid metal bridge pins, carbon fiber bridge plate to boost volume without adding the weight, and this is shockingly light. I mean, this guitar is really light, my 46, but this is really light. And man, I'm a fan of light acoustic guitars. I think they're just more resonant. Next, let's see, there's what they call the vintage tone system, which ages wood. It's sort of a tortified approach that they're using. But the idea is, it used to be that new guitars could not possibly sound like old guitars because the wood hasn't settled in. But through this process, it's a way of like falsely aging it or kind of giving it the characteristics of an old guitar. And it doesn't quite sound like this old guy, but it doesn't sound like a brand new tight guitar. Sometimes you get a brand new acoustic, and to me they feel just sort of tight, like they need a little beer spilled on them and bounce around in your trunk for a while and have a few scratches and dents, and for whatever reason that kind of brings it out. Like sometimes I know players that when they get a new guitar, they will put it on a stand in front of a loud speaker and leave their home with their speaker just blaring at this guitar for 8 hours. Do that every day for a while to kind of open it up. Anyway, the vintage tone system they argue kind of does all that. And I don't know the science behind it, but I know for a brand new guitar, it didn't sound necessarily brand new. I like this orchestra body style. You know, it's a good shape, and it feels very kind of comfortable. The neck also, they refine the neck shape for, you know, what they say playability, and yeah, it's a comfortable guitar, comfortable neck. Neck's really thin, but I like it. This old guy again, which strangely enough came from the same plant in '46 as this one that was made just right now in 2019. Martin, I believe they moved from Germany to New York, started originally in New York, and then moved to Nazareth, PA in 1838. So, went down to Nazareth, I was feeling about a half past dead, like the band said. So, pretty cool that this company has been here this long making these amazing instruments basically in the same. The original plant, although I've not been there, is still standing and still functioning. They've added on, of course, but how cool is that, right? Anyway, I love stuff like that. So good on you, Martin. So let's talk ingredients, which, you know, are pretty similar to like what they've always used. Okay, the top is a solid Sitka spruce, which seems like just a great fit for acoustics. I don't know if it's the weather up there in Alaska, but for whatever reason, it really works. East Indian rosewood, back and sides, and man, right? Pretty wood, right? Love it. Mahogany neck, old school open back tuners, only more effective than the really old ones. But I love that kind of classic look. Let's see, abalone diamond squares, which I think are cool. 20 frets, scale is 25.4. Bridge material is ebony, bone nut, just like they've been making them since, you know, the 1800s. And nut width is 1.75. And it comes with a hard shell case. So, you know, I love that you've got the classic ingredients, but you've got some modern jazz in there that makes it just a very like an old friend right out of the gate. So very cool. So enough of my yakking. Why don't I just play a little bit of it. So I was doing that Joplin thing in a drop D. It's funny, some people never play that song the same way twice. I never play it the same way once. So here we are back in standard. I'm using this DPA microphone that's kind of at an angle hitting around the 12th. That's, now again, engineers will argue about different mic placement, but this seems to work pretty well. And also I got a lav mic that might pick up a little bit of it, but let's see. Now they say this is a good guitar for fingerstyle stuff, and yeah, I think so, man. I mean, it seems to work really well for that. Cool, man. Now let's put that dumb thumb pick away. You know, just for like a cowboy chord thing too, you know. You know, Martins really do have their own thing. I think that you know, there's the Gibson thing, which is a cool kind of darker deal. Taylors to me are very kind of chimey, and Martin sort of sits in between both those. But I think they really cut through a mix, you know, convincingly. And as far as like bluegrass stuff goes, at least in Nashville, if you show up at a bluegrass jam and you're playing anything but a Martin, they might look at you a little funny. It seems like that is the guitar that has been really embraced by those guys, and it just works. But it's really nice for kind of, you know, comping bits. And like I said, really comfortable all the way up the neck. Intonation seems dead on. So good on you, Martin, for taking a classic design and putting some modern touches on it and not losing the vibe of what you had. Because sometimes you get sort of a subtraction by addition, but I don't think it's the case here. I think they actually kind of nailed it. It feels old school, not quite like my beloved old friend here, but you know, a close cousin, like first cousins, and yet has these modern appointments seem to work. It seems to be a very lively, loud, balanced, you know. That's the goal for me in acoustic. Like my friend Larry DiMarzio said, he said, I think that the small strings should be as loud as the big strings, and that's kind of it. You kind of want balance, and this totally has that. So good on you, Martin. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. Please check out our premierguitar.com. We have endless hours of guitar geekery. Check us out on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's unending goodness. Get the magazine. Hell, read my column, the back page, last call. There's all kinds of stuff that you hopefully will like. This is John Bohlinger. Till next time.